But in all honesty, you learn what you need to learn in your role, but most of the stuff you learn in college you don't really need. Alright guys, what's up? It's me, Tommy O, and today I'm going to be discussing and telling you guys the 5 things I wish I knew before I became an accountant, or at least before I chose to become an accounting major back in college. Hopefully this stuff can help you guys. These are just the 5 things that came to the top of my head, but yeah, if you guys want to know, just stay tuned. Alrighty, so just a little bit of background about me. I graduated last year 2020 with my bachelor's, and I graduated this year 2021 with my master's. So I have a master's and a bachelor's both in accounting, and I am currently a tax accountant at a smaller CPA firm. I am not a CPA yet. I do look to become a CPA in the future, but I am currently not a CPA. But I am in public accounting, and I primarily do taxes of higher net worth individuals. So let me just get into my notes. My notes are written down on this little notebook, and I'm just gonna go through them. So first and foremost, it is time consuming. When I tell you busy season is busy, it is busy. They're not lying. And I know a lot of other firms, I can't speak for my firm, but a lot of firms, people are working like 80, 70, 60 plus hour work weeks during busy season. My bosses do a pretty good job of having a good work-life balance. We usually work like 50 hours during busy season because we get ahead of it kind of early, but I know a lot of firms, people are staying way past 5. People do not get out, and it's crazy. I heard auditing's the same way, like people are staying there till midnight. It's crazy. And I understand when you're young you have to pay your dues, but midnight, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time not being at home, especially if you have a family or if you have other hobbies and stuff. It's not 9 to 5, let me tell you that. But then there's other times where it's not tax season that I'm begging for work. So it just depends. I think if you find a good firm where they have a good work-life balance, that there's certain times in the year that you have to sacrifice, but then there's other times where you have all the time in the world to do whatever you want. You'll get out at 5 and you probably didn't do anything for like the past 3 hours. So just depends on your firm. I know the Big Four culture. A couple of my friends work for the Big Four, and they're a little bit overwhelmed sometimes. So it just depends on you. Now, the second thing I wish I knew before becoming an accountant was I wish I had done more than one internship. So personally, the job or the internship that I did, initially they offered me a full-time position. That's the current job that I'm at, where I'm a tax accountant. That's the only one I've done. I didn't do something in corporate accounting. I didn't do an internship in auditing. I didn't do different types of internships, and I know a lot of people can, and a lot of people do, and then they can see which one they like better. But this can only work if you get ahead of the curve and you get an internship maybe your junior year, early in junior year, and you might do one in the summer before senior year or something like that. But you need to have experience, and it's good to see more than one type of accounting, because you don't want to be stuck in an accounting field where you just get complicit. You don't want to be stuck in an accounting field where you don't really like it, you don't really like the work-life balance, you don't really like this, you don't really like that, just because you didn't try other things. But to say on the same note, I think it's very important to note that accounting is a very versatile field. You can end up pretty much anywhere. Every business needs an accountant, whether you're an in-house accountant, for a big corporation, or you're on your own, you have your own CPA firm, or you work for a smaller CPA, everybody needs an accountant. So I'm just telling you guys, try more than one internship, try more than one position. If you don't like it, try something else. You might like something else better, but try more than one field of accounting. The third thing is that your curriculum really does not set you up to become an accountant. It doesn't at all. I know there's some like coursework, like common sense things as an accountant, like, you know, like what goes in the balance sheet, what goes on a P&L, you know, those type of things matter. Those are things you'll learn in your curriculum in college. But things like what I'm doing, how to fill out a tax return, I learned a little bit about, I think, in my master's program, but it was a taxation class. It was like individual tax class, and I learned a little bit. I didn't learn like what a Schedule A, what goes on the Schedule B, what goes on the Schedule D, what goes on a, you know, what goes on the like all the business returns, what goes on a 1065, goes on a 1120s, what goes on all these different forms. Nobody told me that. You learn that stuff on the job, and I think they're very technical with you in school. They're like, oh, learn this, learn this. In all honesty, pay attention, but in all honesty, you learn what you need to learn in your role. But most of the stuff you learn in college, you don't really need. At least for my current role, you don't really need. But yeah, the next thing I wish somebody would have told me, and I think we're on number 4, is that to be an accountant, at least to be a successful accountant, and my version of success is moving up the ladder, getting promotions, things like that, is that you need more than a bachelor's degree. You do. You need more than 120 credit hours, which is what you typically graduate with when you graduate undergrad with your bachelor's degree. You need 150 credit hours if you want to become a CPA. At least in most states, at least in my state, you need 150 credit hours. So most people get their master's, or they just do miscellaneous courses at like a community college, because it's smarter to do it at a community college than say at previous institution, or you can become an enrolled agent. But at least as a tax accountant, you need to be one of those two to become a manager, at least at my firm. You need to become one of those things. You need to become either a CPA, which is a certified public accountant, or an enrolled agent, or an EA for short, so that you can talk to the IRS on your client's behalf. And you can't become a manager if you can't talk to the IRS and figure out what your client needs. So you're gonna have to shell out more coins, and you're gonna have to spend more time studying and more time in professional development. And at the end of the day, that's like the territory of all like professions. You have to do continuous growth. But I find as an accountant, at least a tax accountant, you kind of need to get those, either one of those 2 credentials to quickly move up, or not quickly move up, to even be eligible for an actual like position promotion, and to not be like a staff accountant. Alrighty, so now we're down to the 5th and final thing I wish I knew before I became an accountant / an accounting major, and that is there is a lot of client interaction. So when I tell you I wish I knew that I would be talking to clients as much as I do, and I love talking, I do, but I don't like talking to new people. I don't really like talking to like different people. It's like a lot. And I thought, at least with tax, you just get the information that you need, and then, you know, you don't have to talk to no one. You just do the tax return and you just keep it pushing. But no, you literally have to interact, talk to a lot of these clients. A lot of our clients at the firm that I work at are sweet, very amazing clients, very, very thankful, appreciative clients. They're just great. But there's other times where people will send you like items for tax returns, one PDF in each email, right? You'll send them a long list of things. They'll send you one thing today, one thing at 12, one thing at 2, one thing in 3 weeks. Sometimes people will ghost you. They will not reply to you except that the accountant in charge is emailing them. You've been emailing them 5 times. They will not acknowledge your presence. And it's crazy. The account, and sometimes they even ghost the accountant in charge. I don't know, like, it's just a lot. And sometimes you can't get your work done until the client gets you what you need. So sometimes it's just sitting and waiting game. You might have a lot of returns in your queue, and you're just there. You're just sitting and you're waiting. You get as far as you can with the return, but you can't finish the whole thing because the client hasn't gotten you what you need. So that's kind of frustrating. Alrighty guys, that is all I got for today. So if you guys have any questions or you guys need any advice or anything, just leave that in the comment section. I'll be sure to get to you as soon as possible. Until next time guys, adios.